here's a possible comp that I want to run by you guys. And maybe this is just because I know I'll be watching the Saints game carefully, but is CJ Stroud a good Jameis Winston? Because you look at his numbers, like his average time to throw is fourth highest or fourth longest in the NFL, greater than 3 seconds from snap to pass. He's always throwing deep. His bad ball rate is kind of high. You would expect that from a rookie, but he's also getting a lot of completions beyond 10 air yards. I wonder if, like, okay, if you put Jameis Winston, like a younger version, in a good situation, is that what you have with CJ Stroud? Like, Jameis Winston was a number 1 overall pick, and like we always had hope for him, not so much anymore, but put him in a good spot, and then Winston probably was going to be effective. I wonder if CJ Stroud is something similar, and if that's the case, then okay, he'll score a bunch of points, but there might be those picks where that's how Jacksonville wins this game.
Yeah, that's a pretty good comp. We do kind of forget what Jameis was at one point, and he was a guy that could get you 30 plus touchdowns in a season. The problem was what was happening on the other side. And what this past week with Stroud was that just regression hitting his way, because you knew it was going to get there eventually, but he's putting up numbers every single week. So, Ed, I feel really good about where we sit with the passing yards, because he's going to be up at the top when this thing's done. I mean, just think back to that game that Aaron just mentioned in Germany. Think back. They had the ball. They had a chance to win the game, and they benched him. And it's like the third or fourth time they've benched him this year. How do you go back? But they keep going back to him. I saw that he was talking to media. I'm like, oh, he's starting. He's starting. I had the same reaction. It's just insane to me that they're going back to him again. This locker room can't have any trust in him. And then Bailey Zappi walks in, and then he throws a pick, and he's blaming other people. I can't tell you what really happened on that play. Okay. I mean, what a mess. What a mess. I can't wait to see what happens.
You have like a midweek quarterback competition. This is just drama. I love it.
Look, I'm asking for the pain. I'm asking for it. Right now, Patriots are plugged in as my survivor play. So I can't wait. I don't have any options.
Get the siren. This is ridiculous. Are you serious? This is the fast. The fast has gotten to you. You need to eat now.
You think I'll change it before Sunday?
Oh my gosh, yes. You're going to text us. What was I thinking? Oh my god.
I don't have the Ravens. I don't have any of the favorites from Thursday or Friday. It's like it's that or the Vikings on Monday. Wow. Those are my options.
I'm endorsing the Vikings. That's my pick for the weekend. I'm endorsing the Vikings. I think it's way safe. I mean, in fact, like my model's saying it's Patriots -1 here. Like it's this weird thing where do I want to back Tommy DeVito again? Boy, I'm not comfortable doing that. But with just the mess the Patriots are offensively, I may have to, because at least the Giants have a ground game. They have some semblance of something out there. Patriots,
like, what
can you rely on it? Joe Ostrowski's fasting. Joe, how are you feeling? Are you still alive? How's the pulse, the blood pressure, all that good stuff?
Yeah, I was just upstairs. My wife's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I feel better today on day 3 than I did on day 2. So I'm good, man. I'm feeling good. Like yesterday I was very hungry. I was very tempted. Like everywhere you go in this house, I'm like, there's garbage food everywhere. But yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I think I'm going to make it to tonight. Late tonight would be 72 hours. And then it's all over. Then forget about it.
Wow. No, like easing in with broth or anything. Just
no, you're supposed to. I'm really talking about tomorrow. No, like tonight. Yeah, I was looking up on how you're supposed to break it, like with what kind of foods and what not to do. Like, don't go to White Castle. That would be a bad idea.
Yeah.
But
so, what are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I was some juice.
Yeah, probably bone broth, avocado, something like that. Probably. We'll see. We'll see if I make it. I think I'm gonna make it actually, because I'll be working most of the day, and then it'll almost be over.
What about the weight
things
loss?
Won't turning into food. Like the microphone wasn't turning into a juicy steak or anything like that, where you're about to eat inanimate objects.
Well, it was funny because last night, I don't know why they watched the show, but last night, my wife and my son were watching Survivor. I'm like, I'm doing Survivor right now. Like, I know how those people feel. Like, what are you talking about? And I told her, she's like, this is ridiculous. Just eat something. But yeah,
That's
so
good
we're still
encouragement.
alive. Yes.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
We'll do a show.
Makes
We'll do a
Thanksgiving
show
all the
one
merrier.
next week, Ed. We're all in. The show, Aaron said we're going to do a show one.
I'm starting Friday. I don't trust
Oh,
myself
Are
to
you
be
really
fasted during the show.
day after
Ugh.
Thanksgiving? You're not going to go for the
With all
Thanksgiving
those leftovers?
Right. Like the sandwiches, like that's
No, I don't cook at my house, so there'll be nothing.
Is the public out on the Chiefs now? This was 10. Now we're at 9. I'm wondering if that's the case because everybody watched that game. It was the hyped game, and for 24 hours, people were ripping on the Chiefs. Everything that's wrong with the Chiefs. And it starts with the receivers, and then the Kelsey fumble was bad. And now people are talking about Kelsey distractions. Hey, you know what? This story happened earlier in the year, right? With the whole Taylor Swift stuff and everything going on. Fascinating to see what happens with this number. Is it going to stick at 9? Or is it going to move even further down? Because there could be a buy point. On the Raiders side, Antonio Pierce has covered all 3 games. He's been there. I know it wasn't as big of a story this week because they lost against Miami. And yeah, Miami probably should have won by a lot more. I get that. But the bottom line is they were hanging with a team that they were not supposed to hang with. Everybody in the world had the Dolphins. If you had to pick on that game, you were laying the big number with the Dolphins. And the number kept going up and up and up. It closes a couple touchdowns, and then the Raiders are in that. Matchup-wise, what I look at is you can run on the Chiefs, and we saw it happen again the other night with the Eagles. You can run on this team, and that's what the Raiders want to do. And it's the one thing they can do. Also worth pointing out that over these last couple games, they're getting Devontae Adams involved. He's had 13 targets each of the last 2 games. It's scary because it's Mahomes versus Aiden O'Connell. But I want to see where we close here. But right now, I'm looking at Raiders +9, divisional matchup. They're going to be able to run the ball, maybe take the ball out of Mahomes' hands a little bit. And I have no trust in those Chiefs receivers, man. It's crazy to say with an Andy Reid team. I wonder if they change course a little bit and they start to lean on the run. This is a great matchup if you want to do that a little bit, make things more balanced.
I just think it's a little bit of an overreaction to what we saw against the Eagles. I get it. This is not the same Chiefs team that we are used to seeing, and it is disappointing. But they have beat 6 teams by more than a touchdown this season. So they are winning by margin. And I think against this Vegas team, they still are better. And I trust the head coach and I trust the quarterback more. Las Vegas allowing 244 passing yards per game in the last 3 games. So I think this is a good get right spot to, help out this Chiefs offense who has struggled. And these receivers do need some confidence, and maybe they'll get it in this matchup. I'm excited for the Civil War this weekend. I know you said this is one of your favorite weekends. Where are you expecting a little chaos?
Yeah, Aaron, and it's not one of my favorite weekends. This is my favorite weekend. I love the college.
Okay.
I love the college football regular season, and there is nothing like rivalry week. You see it on the screen there, rivalry week chaos. Absolutely. Anytime you've got rivals on the field, it really doesn't matter. You throw the records out. That's the cliche. I believe that. And when you're playing on the road, that's the hardest thing to do in college football. Play on the road against your rivals. When they're an underdog, that gets even harder. I'm looking at Florida State. My numbers like Florida State to win that game. And if I go to my team dashboards really quickly and see what I make that projected line, I have it Florida State -12.5. But my numbers aren't seeing Jordan Travis not playing. Now, Graham Mertz isn't playing for Florida either. So you've got a real quarterback conundrum there in this game. But that's a game, the first game without Jordan Travis, first full game, in a spot where you're going on the road, you're playing one of your biggest rivals, if not your biggest rival. They're the underdog. They've got to get this win to be bowl eligible, so they're playing for a lot too. That's a spot that I'm looking at. If we kind of go down the rest of the committee's rankings here, I don't think Georgia's in any trouble. Ohio State, Michigan, hey, that's going to be a fantastic game. Who wins? Michigan's the favorite by Vegas and my numbers, both by 3.5 currently. Washington, The Apple Cup, that's difficult, but I don't think Washington State has the firepower to beat Washington this year. The Civil War, Aaron, you went there. I'll go there too if I go to my team dashboard for that one really quickly. My numbers love Oregon. I mean, you could make a case no one's playing better in the last month than Oregon. Maybe Georgia, now that they've rounded into 4-2. My numbers like Oregon by about 13. But Oregon State's going to have that extra something because we don't know when the next Civil War is going to be. Oregon's bolting for the Big Ten. Oregon State would like nothing more than to ruin their rival's season once again. Remember, this is a revenge game for Oregon. Oregon State got them last year in a crazy game in Corvallis. This one's in Autzen that makes it much more difficult for the Beavers, but watch out for that one too.